Call today, 1-800-248-5071. Again, 800-248-5071 for an appointment, or visit dryconcepts.com.
Talk here, talk there. Talk 1470 AM and 95.3 FM, the Health and Wealth Radio Network. WNN.
Everyone knows about kids who are bullied, but what about the bullies?
We grow up, only now it's hazing and cyberbullying. We're more likely to use drugs and alcohol and don't do as well in school. And after we graduate,
we get jobs, but we're going to have more traffic violations and criminal convictions. And since we're more likely to be abusive to our spouses, maybe we're teaching our kids to be just like us.
Early intervention helps us all, even the bullies.
This station is part of the Beasley Best Community of Caring. For more information on how to stop bullying, visit our website.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. It's time to take a few moments from your busy day, unwind, and be inspired as you listen to the insights of empowerment psychic Halley Elise, a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author. Be sure to contact Halley Elise at halleyelise.com. And now, the Halley Elise Show.
Welcome, everyone, for tuning in. I was trying to get things together, do a quick Facebook Live thing to let people know that we're going on the air and adjusting the sound here in the studio and what have you. And I'm looking at the monitor. It's a little on the dark side. So hopefully if you're watching this on Facebook, you can actually see it properly. And it's just the monitor here. It's the holiday season. Everywhere you go, there are cookies. I'm going to show you right here. Excuse me. I walked in and I saw a whole bunch of cookies on the counter, like, uh-oh, trouble. I don't normally eat cookies or really even sweets. I do have a penchant for chocolate, but that's different. I usually do the dark chocolate thing, 90% cacao, that type. So it's not as, we'll say, not as unhealthy. It's better for you because of all the antioxidants, what have you. But I walk in during the holidays, there's homemade cookies. You know, you got to grab something. And, of course, there are parties everywhere. So if you are kind of like me and you prefer a diet that has more, we'll say, organic or less processed types of foods, it's hard to stay away during the holidays, but there are ways around it. Take a look online at paleo sweets or paleo desserts, because everything that I have found has been amazing. I mean, really, I've been exploring and playing and mixing things, and oh my gosh, so good. So if you like the sweets, but normally your diet is not necessarily restricted, but a little bit more out of the ordinary because you're not running to McDonald's every day, and you want to kind of keep with that and not go overboard during the holidays, then take a look, like I said, at the paleo. It seems to be a nice alternative. A lot of vegan things also are really very good and done without a lot of processing. All right, my little plug there for today as far as healthy eating. What can I tell you? We in South Florida are experiencing cool weather, and it's such a blast. Now, I say we in South Florida because the show may be based in Boca Raton, Florida, but because of the net, we have worldwide exposure, which is really awesome for people who choose to advertise with WNN, who choose to be on my show. You have this wonderful opportunity to talk to so many people. I mean, at the lower end of the spectrum, it's over 200,000. At the upper end of the spectrum, it's over 1 million. Now think about it. Where else do you get that opportunity? So if anybody has an interest, feel free to contact me after the show. Be happy to fill you in or refer you to the salespeople, and they can help you out with all the details. I do want to mention the Psychic Gallery, the last one for 2017, and the last monthly Psychic Gallery was just recent, and we had so much fun, truly so much fun. I made sure that I think almost everybody got a door prize, or everybody did. I'm not even sure. There were so many presents. I had one goodie bag for door prizes. Oh, wait, you know what? Everyone did receive, because what I had done was I put gifts on each of the seats, and we had a full house, by the way, which was lovely. And then we had door prizes, and there was an overabundance of those. And then I had this wonderful big red sack I had been advertising that if you wanted to be a part of a grab bag, make a $10 gift, which meant that you didn't have to go shopping. You could actually go online to my account and just pay that $10 and you were in the grab bag. And if you were present, then you could grab yourself. If you weren't, I would grab for you. Matter of fact, I have a lady by the name of Karen who's waiting on her gift. I was going to send it out the other day, but the short version is a family member wasn't well and I needed to go look in that direction. But that's going out today. So Karen, if you're listening, it's going to be sent out today. And there is another gal too that I'll meet with this week who wasn't able to attend, who has an opportunity to get her grab bag. Anyways, all that aside, huge bag. It was like having Santa's sack. And the neat thing was, as I was putting the things in the bag, I was thinking about specific people who might like specific things. It actually worked out where the majority of the people that I had in my consciousness that would enjoy a particular type of gift were the people who pulled those gifts out. One gal, it was cute because I had things wrapped with ribbons and what have you, said that she had reached into the bag and was actually reaching for something else. But the gift she ended up with was because the ribbon had caught on her ring and she couldn't take her hand out of the bag without it being attached. That was specifically a gift that I thought would be something so apropos for her, and she loved it. There is another person who was reaching for her significant other and got something that, again, was one of those things that I thought, would really be something they would enjoy. So there was a lot of synchronicity is what I'm getting at. And if you're going, okay, where are you going with all of this? If you've listened to the show before, you know I kind of do a round. And what I mean by that is I will share information and then I kind of get a little off track and then I come back. So my point is, energetically, things were synchronistic. The people that were there were very in tune with one another, even though the majority of the people didn't know each other. It was so much fun because there were some new people who came out and we did a couple little energy exercises, and very quickly, because we had guests that evening too, and I'll share about that too. The folks that were there did this little mini energy exercise, and next thing you know, they had to sense what was going on with somebody next to them. They shared information. I would say 9 out of 10 people, so we'll say 90%, were right on the mark. And if they weren't right on the mark with the person who was in front of them, ironically, and not ironically at the same time, because energy is one of those malleable things, they picked up on the person sitting to their side, meaning they were supposed to focus on the person directly in front of them, and instead they picked up on the person to their side. It was really quite interesting, and everybody was amazed at the fact that they could tap in to somebody else's energy field and intuitive information that quickly without a lot of training and just a very brief training period. The reason I share all this is a lot of folks out there know that they have a level of intuition, whether that means they knew who's going to be on the phone when they go to pick up the phone, or they have these gut feelings, or sometimes it's more a matter of a sense of something of good or foreboding, but they don't know how to cultivate it. I'll be candid and not very modest here, which is not like me, but I'll do it anyways. I'm really good at helping other people tap into their abilities. And that's why when I do a gallery or I do a psychic apprenticeship training, it really is about the individual being able to connect with their own abilities and master them. If you have an interest, again, you can reach out to me later, and I will give you the website address in case you want to check out some things. I really do need to update that a little bit when it comes to the psychic training, because I have, I think, something small on there, if I recall, that has to do with business professionals and using their intuition. But I don't recall if my guy put the information on there as far as individuals. Anyways, it is really simple. It's my name, HalleyElise.com. Excuse me. Seems like I have a frog all of a sudden. All right, so the website itself, in case you were like, wait, spell that, is HalleyElise.com. And you will find a myriad of things on the site that is interesting. There's some photos of me with some other folks that are just amazing. You can peruse that. There's some video content or links to some video content. I believe there may or may not be, I think there is, an article or two from newspapers that have featured me, as well as articles that will guide you as to what to look for when you want to go get a reading. And it's not specifically connected to me, but it's to help you make the best decision for yourself as to how to find the right person. And I'll give a little tidbit here because I do this every once in a while. It is so important that you make a decision based on a referral or based on what your gut tells you on that intuition. If you see a big sign, you're like, oh, that would be fun. Let me go over there and it's $10 for a palm reading. Nothing wrong with that. But you walk in and the person there says, oh, you have evil around you. Nobody gives you your due. You have a curse. I'm going to have to remove that for you and it's going to be $5,000. Run. Run out the door. Don't worry if you've sat there for 10 minutes. Leave. Really and truly, anybody who wants to share and be helpful and has this ability to guide should be coming from the right place. Now, if you're loaded and you don't care that you walked in and somebody says you have evil and you want to go along with it and have them take your money, go for it. Everybody's an individual. My point is, it's really important not to be taken advantage of, to know what your rights are, to understand how to find resources. And the biggest part of all, really and truly, is defer to your own judgment. And if you're somebody who's sitting there saying, I can't listen to myself, I always make the wrong choice, it's not a true statement. It simply means that your perception of your choices is not where it needs to be. And it also means that the choices that you've made, you've not either identified with what the learning or lesson was, or you made it because you felt like you just had to make a choice and it wasn't a true intuitive choice. We all hear about kids at school and they say, adults say to children, go with your first choice. The reason for that is 9 out of 10 times, usually more if you work with it, the choice that you make first is the right choice. That just comes through. That is not because it was contrived. It's not because of even studying. Now, don't get me wrong. You want to be studious if you're in school. Academia is important. Your intuitive knowing is just as important. I actually posted something of a group that's fairly new on Facebook. We only have about 500 plus people. It's called Aware and Optimistic. If you get a chance, join us. There's a lot of information, a lot of content about tapping in, paying attention, seeing what's going on in the world. How do you fit into that? How can you be influenced? But there's a lot of motivation and inspiration, a lot of positive messages. So it is called, once again, Aware and Optimistic. Okay, remember I said I kind of do this 360 circle thing? So I started out talking about the Psychic Gallery, which again, we really truly had so much fun. I had Lynn Robbins on, who creates these magnificent hearts from seed pods. And if you're thinking, what? There is a tree, and I don't recall the name, that the pods actually look like hearts. They split open and you have 2 hearts. But what's really kind of interesting is sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's a quad. She takes them, she sanitizes them, she does whatever she does in her process to make sure they're clean and they're primed and ready to go, and then decorates them. Sometimes it's paint, sometimes it's a decoupage. She came in and explained how she uses these amazing hearts to help charities. Like I said, we had an incredible time. We're going to take a break, and then I'll share a little bit about Edward Rodriguez, who also joined us. He's the gentleman who shares with everybody a smile. We'll be right back. Thank you. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com. Hi, it's Halley Elise, your empowerment psychic, and it's time to take a few moments from your busy day, unwind, and be inspired as you listen to Insights. I am a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author, and I invite you to join me Tuesdays noontime on WNN Radio. I look forward to speaking with you.
You have been listening to a Top 100 Psychic, Halley Elise, your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. For a private session, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show and your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise.
Welcome back. Before the break, I was just sharing a little bit more about the Psychic Gallery, and I mentioned Lynn Robbins and her hearts and how she creates these beautiful, unique items and helps charity. Her thing is kids. She has this penchant for really helping children, and she raises funds with the hearts to help the children. Oftentimes, she'll go to a charitable event and let children actually create their own, having them ornate and decorate and paint. A lot of fun. We also had Edward Rodriguez. He's known as the happiness guy or the smile guy. He has a book out there that has to do with walking from Deerfield Beach, Florida to Washington and then to New York. And if you're thinking, come on, it's true. He had this idea to share a smile across the states and went and did it. And it was a phenomenal experience, and a book came of it. So if you get a chance to take a look at Edward Rodriguez, you will find him on Amazon, you will find him on Facebook, but you can just look up the happiness guy, Eddie or Edward. You'll see there's a lot of information. He shared with us also at the gallery and told us one of his phenomenal stories. Definitely something to check out. Oh, speaking of books and people that have things, if you haven't seen my book, Treasures Within, it's been around for forever. It's a meditation book, and I've published, I'm thinking it was 2001, if I'm not mistaken. It is a collaborative effort with a friend of mine named John Castaghini. But if you're going, okay, can't remember that name, just look up Treasures Within, Halley Elise, and you'll find me on Amazon, and usually bookstores have a copy or two also. It's a great book for the holidays if you want to give as a gift. It's not really long, but there are simple techniques in there so that you can master meditation, contemplation, breath work, lots of things to manage stress and create more peace in your world. And speaking of, I did a presentation yesterday. I'm going to share a little bit of that because I think it has a lot of merit. The presentation that I was to do was about sharing some of the trials and tribulations and how our emotions can dictate what's going on and make us uncomfortable, and how it's important to shift our view, our awareness, our feelings, so that we can be more fulfilled, so that we can be more motivated, so that we can be happier. And the name of the presentation, believe it or not, had to do with, oh my gosh, my life. And oh gosh, it's the holidays and I haven't reached my goals. As in, all of these things are taking place in my world and I haven't gotten to where I need to be. And those are the humdrums. And we all do it. Some of us get lower than others because of circumstance. And this is a segue into one of the stories that I told yesterday within the presentation. It had to do with a dear friend of mine that I've known for decades, who unfortunately has gone through a lot of loss. Now, many of us have gone through loss. Sometimes we lose 2 people in a year, or a beloved pet passes. Sometimes it's more than that. This is a gentleman who had to deal with it all. There was a change with people in his business. Some passed. Some became thieves. There was loss of loved ones. There was a loss of his dog. I mean, it just went on, and a loss of a girlfriend, not because she passed, but they broke up. So here you had a myriad of circumstances that kept compiling on one another that really created such stress and such overwhelm that when we spoke, he said, we've been at this back and forth over the years because we've talked about how he can manage stress better. And he's a very high-powered individual as far as his travel and his work. And it's really important for him to maintain a cheerful countenance, to be able to do his job, to look after his staff, etc. When you are so down that you cannot leave your home, there's a problem. Okay, so I regress. He was saying that it was very difficult at this particular point to get that place of moving forward. He knew that he needed to do it. He just didn't know how. We spoke for a while, and this is what I had shared at my presentation yesterday, that it's not a matter of do these things happen or how many of these things happen. It's a matter that they do happen, and how do you handle it? And those of you who've listened to me for the last 30 years plus know that I am a big proponent for seeing empowerment, for seeing you take charge of your world, no matter how chaotic or crazy it is. And especially this time of the year, and I've brought this up the last couple of weeks, maybe a little bit longer actually, because there's such a push to be joyful, to be happy, to have this season. Well, that's great if everything's running smoothly. It's not so good if you're missing money, missing a loved one, don't know where you're living. I mean, we could go through the list. There really is a plethora of things that can derail us. And what I'm saying is, again, it's not will things happen, but how do you transform? So I'm going to give you some real quick little tips, and then we'll go to our callers. And I'll also share the phone number again, just so that you have it. It is 888-565-1470 if you want a psychic session on the air today. Okay, so a tip. If you're finding that you're so down that you can't possibly leave your house, eat something that makes you smile. And I'm serious. I don't mean binge eat, but I mean bite into something that makes you feel good. If, for instance, hot dogs are your favorite thing, then cook up a hot dog. And when you sit there and you eat it, just focus on the sensation of the flavor, and that you don't do this often enough for yourself, and that you're allowing yourself a moment. Something so simple, something so little can have a major impact. Perhaps it's ice cream, a cookie, a chocolate bar. Is anybody getting hungry? It is lunchtime. But really and truly, if you can't do anything, take a bite of something that makes you feel good. And if you're saying, but when I'm upset, I can't eat. Okay. I suggest, and I challenge you, to put one spoonful, one forkful into your mouth and just savor that flavor, savor that moment. And if you go, well, that's all fine and dandy and I could do that, but it's only going to take care of the moment and it doesn't fix anything. You're right. It doesn't fix anything because in that moment, that statement itself, you are not taking control. Another way to really shift things is to sit down and write out your feelings. And if you go, well, I do that. I keep a journal. I type every day. No. Heart to hands. Allow yourself to write till you can't write anymore. Just let it all pour out. And then take it outside and either bury it in the dirt or burn it. And the reason being, what you're doing is you are letting go of the emotion that is bogging you down and saying, you know what? I'm choosing not to have this bog me down anymore. I want to shift. I want to be in a better space. The other thing, acknowledge how you feel. You can say, I feel like poo, and, I don't want to go anywhere, and I don't want to do anything, and nothing you say or nothing anybody does is going to fix that because this is my life, and I don't know what to do. Okay, acknowledge it. And what I mean is recognize that in that moment, that is truly how you feel. But understand it is that moment. It is not every moment. And then do your best to recall a moment where you did not feel that way. Just the process of acknowledging how you feel in the moment and remembering a moment where you felt more content, or you felt more on target, or you felt empowered or loved or motivated. Just allowing your mind to go in that direction will lift you. When I say lift you, I don't just mean lift your emotional spirits. I mean energetically begin a change. And really and truly, the more that you practice that, the easier it gets. But not only does it get easier, things around you start to change. So those are a few quick things that you can do to start to make a difference if you're having a down moment, a period of time that you've locked yourself in the house. When all else fails, put on something funny, something that you know emphatically, when you see it, it makes you laugh, because laughter is healing. Okay, we have a caller on the line, I believe, Susan.
Good afternoon, rather.
Hi, how are you today?
Hi. I'm pretty good. I'm looking for a little help and advice here.
Okay. Did you have a...
you had mentioned meditation earlier, and I had trouble calming my mind down into it. It's a two-pronged problem. The number one is getting the mind clear and kind of erasing it, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is when I do sit down and just try to be still for a few minutes, it seems like everything in the universe starts wanting my attention. The
Right.
phone rings, or the text start in, or the friend on Facebook Messenger needs my attention.
Sure. Okay. So here's something to consider. When you
Okay.
meditate, your mind does not have to be clear. And if you're going, what? That's a contradiction, because if my mind's not clear, then what am I doing? The truth of the matter is that you want to occupy the part of your mind that thinks too much, the part of your mind that is analytical, the part of your mind that has linear thought. That part of your mind needs to be occupied so that the other part of your mind, that abstract, that creative, that divine, can tap in. And one of the simplest ways to do that is when you sit. First off, turn off all of your electronics, including the timer on the stove if that's on. But turn off everything so that you have the ability to focus just on you, and close your eyes and start to envision different scenarios where you had a good time, where you were peaceful, and let each one build on the other. And I'll give you an example. So for instance, if I closed my eyes and I go, oh, I'm not seeing anything, I'm not remembering anything, I might turn around and say, okay, what can I remember from childhood? Oh, I remember that one Father's Day when I couldn't have been more than 5 or 6, and my dad bought me a bicycle, and I thought, but it's Father's Day, he shouldn't be buying me gifts, and how much fun we had. And then that might lead me to, okay, I can see that, and I remember those feelings, and oh, it was so exciting, and I was so scared and excited at the same time, and I had training wheels, and wow, my dad was the coolest dad in the world because he did this. And that might lead me to, well, in high school had something really cool happen too. I was sitting in the class and I couldn't focus, and I didn't think I had gotten it, and the teacher asked a question and I was the only one who knew it. Wow, that made me feel really good. And it wasn't boastful, but I realized that I knew more than I thought I did. And that leads me to, you follow what I'm saying here? You can actually talk to yourself out loud. It's called a speaking meditation. If you're not able to just get the images on their own, actually bring up something, or you can even have a predetermined speaking meditation. And what I mean by that is you have something to start with. So an example might be when you go to the park and you see the squirrels, you always bring nuts with you because it makes you feel good to feed the squirrels. You sit down and you begin to think about the experience of going to the park and how it makes you feel good being in nature and being surrounded by the squirrels, and the fact that you're always prepared with the peanuts. And at this point, the squirrels are beginning to recognize you, and they come out and they get real close, and you're finding other little animals are coming around, and you're creating a whole scenario of not only calm but joy. And you start to talk to yourself about these things. Well, how does this make me feel? Well, in that moment, I'm having a good time. I'm not thinking about other things. In that moment, I'm really delighted to be acting and interacting with the animals. And in that moment, I don't really care about time itself. And in that moment, I realize no matter if it's hot or cold, I'm comfortable. You see where I'm going with this?
I think so.
Okay. You have an option of a predetermined focus for your meditation so that you start to keep that analytical part of your mind busy, or you have the ability to close your eyes and just focus on, I'd like to see something that's joyful, or I'd like to see something that brings me contentment, or I'd like to see something that makes me feel loving. And whatever pops in, you build on that with your images. Either way, very effective, but neither of them has to do with clearing the mind, because honestly, that's as if you were to say, I don't see that furniture in the room, and I'm not aware that there's a window, and I'm not aware there's a door and a car and a typewriter, I'm aging myself, a computer. The point being, yes, there is a form of meditation where you totally clear your mind. That takes immense practice, but even when you are practiced and skilled at it, it is not always easy to do. Because when your mind is busy, if you say to your mind, be quiet, it gives you more things to be busy about. What you can do as another alternative is allow yourself to become aware of what is going on. And what that means is to be present with yourself and your environment. For instance, you can close your eyes and say, okay, now that I've closed my eyelids, I see squares and different colors and shades. What do I taste on my lips? I taste the crumbs of the cookie that I had a little while ago. The sweetness, the sugar, the chocolate. I smell. What do I smell in this space? Oh, I smell that wonderful shampoo that I used on the dog earlier. What am I hearing now? Well, I'm hearing the sounds of the neighbors outside. I'm hearing the people working in the next room. I'm hearing, et cetera, et cetera. What am I feeling? Well, I'm feeling myself sitting in the seat and my feet firmly on the floor. All of these things allow you to be very present. And when you build, again, on those things, you quiet the mind enough to get peaceful. Thank you so much for calling in, Susan. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a beautiful day. And we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break. Hi, it's Halley Elise, your empowerment psychic, and it's time to take a few moments from your busy day, unwind, and be inspired as you listen to Insights. I am a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author, and I invite you to join me Tuesdays, noontime on WNN Radio. I look forward to speaking with you. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com.
You have been listening to a Top 100 Psychic, Halley Elise, your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. For a private session, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show and your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise.
Welcome back. If you'd like to have a psychic session on the air, call in to 888-565-1470. Once again, that's 888-565-1470. I do want to let you know, since the Psychic Gallery is not taking place on a monthly basis next year, it's actually going to be quarterly. We will have one in April of 2018. But in January, the second week, I'll give you the date a little later. I just want you to kind of put it into your consciousness. If you're one of these people that make proclamations on New Year's Eve about what the next year is going to look like, and then somehow it just doesn't come together, but you really want 2018 to be the best year it can be, you are going to want to join me the second week in January. I am going to do a vision board. I've been calling them treasure maps since the early 1990s because that was my thing. To me, when you get what you want and your desires are fulfilled, it's as if you've opened up a treasure chest. The second week in January, I will be doing, again, a lovely little vision board program. And if you'd like to join me and I hear from you before the end of this month, I will give a 20% discount. Keep that in mind. So if you get in touch after the show, I really don't want to discuss prices. I don't think it's necessary. I just want you to know about the discount. If you sign up before the end of this month, you will get a 20% discount. And the thing that I can tell you about my vision boards is they are very effective. Those folks who have attended classes with me over the years find that it seems magic happens. And that really is because vision boarding has gotten to be kind of the general term for taking a piece of paper and throwing something on it. It's supposed to happen. Ta-da! Prior to The Secret, prior to John Azaraf talking about it, prior to a lot of people talking about it, I've been vision boarding. And as I said, I used to call them treasure mapping, which actually I think I'd like better, truthfully. The point being, there is more to it. Yes, you do put these things on the board, and the idea is to put it somewhere where you see it every day so that you are able to make things happen because you're seeing it every day. It's being put into your consciousness. You seek it out. You become in alignment with it. All that is very true. But again, there's more. If your psyche, if your emotional state, if your spiritual state is in alignment with the things that you desire, then it speeds up that timetable. And I really am very good at running energy, which we definitely had seen, thankfully, this past gallery. And I laugh because I've said probably 10 times already on today's show, we had so much fun. Really, it had a full house, and everybody was just so amazing. They truly were. They tapped into their own skills and had a great time. Anyways, if anybody is listening who is at the gallery, wants to call in and give some feedback, feel free. So, again, doing that 360 thing that I do, be sure if you'd like to join my treasure map vision board class and you really want 2018 to be amazing, get in touch after the show. You can, of course, email me at info@halleyelise.com or give a call to the office, which is 561-755-2166, or you can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn. We could go down the list here. Okay, everybody's got it. We have a caller on the line. Hi. Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
My name is Robert, and I'm just wondering what's in store for me, like in the next 3 months, if you see anything.
Okay, I can say right off the bat, the last 5 years seems to be all about change. It seems like you move in one direction, and then you got to tweak, and you got to move in another direction. And the next 3 months, actually, I'd say the next 6 months is very similar as far as pattern energetically. Your switching cycle, roughly, I'd say, by the 8th of June. I know that sounds like a weird date, but it does feel like there is a definite shift by the 8th of June. I feel like there's something that you've been working on that you want to see come to fruition within the next few months. It feels like it's going to take a little bit longer than you originally planned, but don't give up hope because it will come to fruition. And I'm going to say be open to moving out of state, which may be like, what? But I really feel there's going to be an opportunity. Really give it a lot of thought. It feels to me as if you could really benefit in the long run.
Hopefully not somewhere that's too cold.
Well, they do have sweaters. It's so funny. Everybody I talk
I know.
Everybody I talk to is like, oh my gosh, it's freezing. And me, I'm going, yay. That must be the only.
Beautiful, but I mean, if you're watching, TV
I know.
and you see the weather, it's
yes.
like it looks like Armageddon.
I know it's pretty crazy. I have friends up north who live in a mountain, and they're showing me videos of what it looks like, and all I could keep thinking about is skiing and sledding and all the things that come along with it. But you're right, it can be a bit much. I just, like I said, get the sense of opportunity coming up to move out of state and a lot of success attached to it. So,
is it work related?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what I've been doing I kind of have to do in like this climate and stuff. So it would have to be something totally different a new job or a new career or something.
Well, here's the thing. Climate-wise, California is similar in certain parts. If you look at Arizona, if you look at certain places, it's not identical, but similar climate.
True, yeah.
And again,
I wasn't.
I don't get there being a change as far as what you're doing. I get location. And I'm just going to reiterate, be open instead of going, oh my gosh, what? I did want to be a transplant. Just take a look at the benefits before you make up your mind, because the sense is this is something that really could bring you a lot of joy. And on a personal end, I'm going to say your physical body, health-wise, this year you need to be more vigilant. In some areas, you're really good, but it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to go full speed ahead and do well for a while, and then there's a distraction. As best as you can, try to maintain continuity all the way around. And I'll give you an example as to what I mean. When somebody is on an exercise program and they go to the gym on a regular basis, but they're eating foods that really aren't supportive, it catches up with them, even though they're doing everything else right. But there's a sense of a lack of congruency, and maybe it's just simply for the holidays that I'm feeling. I just get an overwhelming feeling that it needs to be consistent. And I'm going to say specifically, if you can, the month of January, I'm going to say safeguard with antioxidants, safeguard with immune builders. I get a sensitivity here under the surface, and you don't want to be out the beginning of the month.
Okay, yeah, the last couple of months I've been slacking.
It's time to just readjust. You can do this because you're really good when you say, I am going to do something. You're almost like a bull, which is a good thing, as in once you've really made up your mind, you're going full speed ahead. You have to do the same thing with your physical well-being, because I feel like everything else is going to pop. As I said, you've got roughly 6 months of kind of shift, move, dodge, adjust, but it's not bad. It's more a matter of things that you hadn't anticipated showing up and being able to navigate around them. But as far as the wellness, that's something that I feel is definitely within your control and easy enough to get back on the program.
It is. I have all the knowledge. It's just the discipline to do it day in and day out is kind of tough with everything that's going on in my life right now.
Right. But it's time to start rewarding yourself, because you are navigating through emotion and navigating through finance and navigating with family. It's like boom, boom, boom all at the same time. Think of this as a reward for you. And even if that means staying on target with your physical well-being and then taking yourself to a funny movie, I know that sounds silly, but doing something that is just about you, really important right now. As I said, to kind of avoid a fallout in January.
Okay.
All right, my friend.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely holiday season.
Thank you. You as well. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, if you'd like to phone in for a psychic session, it's 888-565-1470. Once again, that's 888-565-1470. And I'm going to share again that if you have an interest in advertising, be lovely to start the new year out right. You know, get with me before, I'm going to say the 15th, because I have some things cooking. And we can make sure that we have your commercials taken care of. We do have audio as well as video, and I can share more about that. But the nice thing is the exposure that you get on radio and the exposure that you get on the web is massive. If you really want people to know that you're there, advertising is still the way to go. I mean, word of mouth is important, but also having others see you and share is just as important. That seems to be my word of the day, important. All right, we will be right back with the Halley Elise Show. Thank you. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com. Hi, it's Halley Elise, your empowerment psychic, and it's time to take a few moments from your busy day, unwind, and be inspired as you listen to Insights. I am a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author, and I invite you to join me Tuesdays noontime on WNN Radio. I look forward to speaking with you.
You have been listening to a Top 100 Psychic, Halley Elise, your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. For a private session, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show and your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise.
Welcome back. I was just thinking during the break about how this year coming is already beginning to fill up. Many of you know that I do keynote, I do speaking engagements, lunch and learns, and that type of thing. I connected with a gentleman recently who pretty much has me booked throughout the year doing civic groups and presenting to them. It's going to be a lot of fun. The reason I bring this up is if you have a particular organization that needs a presenter, keep me in mind. Anything from stress management to motivation to tapping into your own intuitive ability is available. And of course, if you need something that's more customized, that's more linear in thought in respect to consciousness, in respect to the id personality, that's easy enough to do. All right, I believe we have Charles on the phone, but it's going to take just a moment because it seems that Joe is on the other phone. You like the way that happens? In the control room, multitasking. All right, so Charles, please.
Charles Camillus.
Hi, do I have you?
Yes, you have me. How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
All right. I'm just trying to find out how the end of the year going to be finished, and with the new year, what's the new hope for me?
Okay, I can tell you that you have to let go of some of the old gunk. And when I say old gunk, what I mean is you take things very personally when something happens and you hold it. And so, for instance, if somebody has upset you, they've hurt your feelings, you hold that. If somebody's made you angry, you hold that. And it's not that you want to. It's not like you think, oh, I'm going to hold on to stuff. But it's more a matter of it's just kind of been the way you react to situations. It's indirectly a way of being protective, self-protective. If you remember it, then you can defend yourself. Yet, if you really want to see the end of the year be better, and you really want 2018 to be kick butt, you've got to make a commitment to let go, especially with relationships. Things that things that aren't working, honey, they're just not working. And no matter how you try to force it or turn it or remind somebody that they should be doing something, that's kind of out of your control.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. And if you do this, truly, if you make that commitment to yourself, you will find that there will be so many happy moments in 2018 that you will wonder why you didn't do this sooner. I actually have an affirmation for you if you're comfortable using it. Before you go to bed at night, just say to yourself, I am now able to let go of my past, so my future is really happy. Those simple words, putting them into your mind before you go to sleep means that your consciousness will work on making it true for you, but more important, it will make it easier to let go of the things that you've been holding so tight to. And all right, and the other thing is, in respect to work, I get some additional education coming up in 2018. It feels to me February, tail end, possibly March.
Okay.
All right. I mean, so there's good things. It's just you have to kind of stand up and take a little bit more control of over your emotion.
All right. Not a problem. I would appreciate that.
All right. I wish you a lovely holiday season.
Thank you. You did the same.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, and I believe we have Christine on the line. Yes.
Hi, Hallie. How are you?
Great. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful. I love your show. By the way, you give the best information.
Oh, thank you so much.
I was wondering if you have like a little message or words of wisdom for me or anything you want to share, anything you're picking up.
Okay. Miss Sensitive, that's the first thing that pops up. It's interesting. When people are sensitive, sometimes we are picked on. Sometimes people misunderstand who we are. And in actuality, it helps to make us more compassionate towards other people and towards the world. But we forget to internalize that compassion. So in respect to a word of wisdom or a couple of words of wisdom here, I'm going to say it would be a really great idea that you make 2018 about being more compassionate with and to yourself. That's huge. And if you are able to do that, you will find that some of the things that you've been working on for the last, I'll say, 2.5 years seem to just kind of disappear. That all of a sudden you're going, what happened? You know what it reminds me of, and this is going to sound really funny, when you're in pain and it stops. And I'll give a perfect example. I was in a car accident, actually multiple accidents at one point where within a year I was hit 4 times in the front and the back on either side. It was really crazy. When people ask what's that about, that would take too long to explain. But because of that, I had some things going on with my vertebrae, and I was sitting at a street light a couple of years ago, and this woman just decided that street lights don't matter and hit me in the rear. And there was instant pain. And I thought, uh-oh, obviously something old was reactivated. Anyways, I am not one to take painkillers or get injections. Usually I do the right types of water, I do meditation, I do affirmations, all these things that I share so that it gets better. And it got to a point where, yes, it was better, but it was still very trying, very taxing. For instance, I love to walk, and I was finding if I walked more than a half a block, I was in pain. I finally said, okay, I acquiesce. There's something they can do in between the vertebrae, an injection, not that I want to, but I'm going to go ahead and do this. I went ahead, I got the injection. I have to tell you, it's amazing that when something bad that's been a part of your world just disappears, you kind of look for it. I mean, it's the strangest thing. Not because you want to bring it back, but you go, wow, so that's what my life is supposed to feel like. Meaning you forget how good things are when you're allowed to just focus on the good. When that discomfort that throws you off no longer exists in your world. This makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, because what I'm getting here is, again, you can facilitate your own good. You truly just need to be kinder to you, not put so much pressure on yourself to make things happen in a certain period of time, to get it done. Instead, have the belief in the knowing and the faith that things are moving ahead, that you are doing what you need to do, that you are in the right place, because you are. It is simply a matter of recognizing it. And the more you begin to recognize it and the more passion that you have for life, the easier it gets to let go of the discomfort. It gets to a place where, again, it's not even there. And it's kind of a weird feeling when you go, hey, that doesn't bother me. Wow, that's not in my world anymore. How cool is that? 2018 can be truly phenomenal for you. When it comes to business, I really feel like it's important to determine what you want to be when you grow up. There are a lot of things that you can do, but what really is going to make your heart sing? Put a little attention.
What I do now makes my heart sing. Makes me very, very happy.
But I don't get there being full compensation there.
Like being paid to me?
I mean, money-wise.
No, I mean, I think I'm fairly compensated, but if you think I could be making more doing what I love, hey, you know.
I do. That's why I'm saying this, because to me, I feel like you're not getting as much as you should. The dollar amount needs to be higher. And see, this goes back to what I said before about being kinder to yourself. Don't get stuck in that idea of, oh, but I shouldn't ask too much because, you know, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. It should be more a matter of you give out so much, you should receive. There is a law of equilibrium, of reciprocity that exists energetically. And you want to make sure that everything is balanced, harmonious there. So think bigger.
I thought it was now, but...
There's more, honey. There is so much more. And I'm going to give just arbitrary number for just a minute. And obviously, I'm not going to discuss actual numbers. But let's say you've got 50,000 coming in. You should be getting 75. Like, it should be that percent more.
Wow.
And when that's at that level, not only are things equal for you, but then you can also give more to those that you love to give to.
Yeah.
Because you're one of those people that likes to help other people. You're one of those people that likes to make a difference.
Yeah, that's true.
2018 will rock, like I said, if you can be more compassionate with yourself and think, again, more money. Just be okay with the knowing that the universe wants to provide this for you. This is a part of you, if you will, your game plan. On a universal, and I don't mean human, because here's the thing. For me, when things come up, it's energetically in respect to how it feels, what it looks like. And yes, of course, there's a physical human factor because we're all physical human beings. But too often, we limit ourselves based on familial history, based on, well, we're doing okay. We don't always recognize that we came in as a soul to do even more. And what I'm getting is more for you.
Okay.
All right, my friend.
Thank you so much. You're so awesome. I love your show.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day and enjoy the holidays.
You too, and have a happy, healthy new year.
Thank you. You as well, hon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to the Halley Elise Show. If you want to reach me on any of the subjects that came up today or anything that I shared, you can call the office, which is 561-755-2166. You can reach out on the web, HalleyElise.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn or on Facebook. Or if you forget all of the things I just mentioned, just look me up on Google. All right, then. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah to everybody celebrating. Tonight is first night for the candles. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Tune in every Tuesday on WNN at noon for an hour of peace, inspiration, and psychic phenomena with empowerment psychic Halley Elise. And be sure to visit HalleyElise.com. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Used to is the way it ought to be. Learn how to feel, function, and perform to your full health potential. Tune in to the Dr. Bob Martin Show, Sunday morning at 10 on Talk 1470 WNN.
Talk health, talk wealth, talk politics, talk 1470 and 95.3 FM WNN.
Want to make your smartphone brilliant? Make your smartphone brilliant? One tap creates a virtual wine fine tuner. Another, a coffee refiner. A beauty cream and makeup enhancer.
Wow. Look at your eye.
What
a difference.
And with still just a tap, a strength and flexibility harmonizer.
Yeah, I definitely felt something different.
This is the Vitalizer. In the App Store on any smartphone, a simple download that will embed specific frequencies and vibrations into your phone's light photons and sound waves. Calibrations designed to affect taste.
The Vitalizer one is better than the other one, for sure.
Hydration, absorption,
feel silkier,
and perhaps most incredibly, your strength, flexibility, and energy. Amazing.
Wow. Crazy.
Well, salud.
Learning program that helps identify your child's strengths and challenges. 3D Learner's individualized program for academic and athletic success will significantly improve reading comprehension, test scores, and self-esteem. Contact 3D Learner today for more information. Call 561